What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Konoha Council mocked Naruto, but the Akatsuki secretly trained him to destroy them? If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments. And also check the description to original creator of this beautiful creation. Leader Sama, it's been a while, hasn't it? Yes, it has, Itachi. Two men in black cloaks with straw hats stood on a branch just outside the hidden village of the Leaf overlooking the gate. Anybody passing by would know enough just by looking at them that these were no people to mess with. A light breeze blew by, swaying the cloaks in the wind, and just then, 7 more figures dressed similarly appeared behind the two. "Hey, Itachi? It's been a while for you too, hasn't it?" said Kisame while sneering. "HN," was his reply. "Might I ask again? Why do we need to have an alliance with this pathetic excuse for a village, Leader Sama?" "I would be careful, Toby. That's my former village you're insulting. And to answer your question, we need an alliance with Konoha because without it our village is more prone to be attacked by other hidden villages," the mysterious figure at the front explained. Toby bowed. "My apologies. I am truly grateful for what you have done for all of us, Leader Sama." All 9 of the figures waited there ominously next to each other, the breeze still lightly blowing their cloaks. They watched as civilians constantly walked in and out of the gate, paying no heed to the 9 people in the trees. The 2 Konoha shinobi at the gate were greeting the people as they passed through, completely oblivious. "You'd think they would have been alerted to our presence by now, Kakuzu? For shinobi, they don't seem to have a very good security system." Hidan inquired. "Bah, who cares what you think? I just hope that there's a fight. It's time to show these shinobi the true meaning of art. It's a bang." All the other 8 people looked back at him as if he had another hand growing from his face. I am mean," Deidara stuttered. "You really need to shut up with that art crap cause it's just plain annoying." The woman with blue hair known as Kanaki stated. "HNN. Agreed, well said." Everybody else concurred. "You guys just don't understand my art. HAHAHAHAHAHA." Everyone looked at the distinguished leader at the front who was laughing. Surprisingly for a group this feared, the mood was relatively lighthearted. Ever since the replacement of the leader 3 years ago, the organization had grown to trust each other and become friends. After he had finally settled down, he wiped his eyes. "You guys don't know how much it means to me that you choose to come with me. I don't know how I'll ever repay you." "Nonsense," Zetsu exclaimed. "After you freed us from the old leader's curse, I'm sure there's nothing we could do to repay you, Leader Sama." "Geez, it's been 3 years and you guys still haven't stopped calling me that. How many times do I have to tell you, just call me by my real name?" "All right, Naruto," Itachi said. "There, that's better." Naruto then decided to take his straw hat off. His golden hair reached nearly down to his shoulders now. In fact, besides the note that his whiskers were a little darker, he was the spitting image of the Yondaime Hokage. He sighed as he put his hat back on. "It's better not to have my face be seen till later." Naruto put his hands inside his pockets and sighed. This place could really get his emotions stirring. "Itachi," he said, dropping his head, "as the leader of Sanatogakure, I'm supposed to have my village's best interests at heart, but now that I'm here, I'm wondering what Konoha will think of me. Will they accept me as an accomplished young man, or will they still scorn me and call me demon? I don't know if I can bring myself to kill these people. Especially the ones that were close to me. Will Sakura-chan have forgiven me yet?" "Naruto," Itachi sighed. "I can't tell how they feel or what will happen when we go inside." He cleared his throat. "But I can tell you this, whether they accept you or not, we will always trust you." Everybody else nodded, saying they agreed with Itachi. Naruto sighed. "Thank you. I will do my duty as Kage to defend and put my village's best interests at heart." The wind became more rapid and the hats of Akatsuki were on the verge of falling off. Then, as soon as the wind came, it died. "It's time." Then the 9 figures disappeared towards the gates. "It's been a long time since I've been here. A long time since I've seen them." Flashback. Sakura barked Tsunade while stumbling into the room. She was out of breath. "They're back." "Oh my god, they? You mean he's back?" Sakura asked, tears in her eyes. A nod of her head confirmed it. "Sasuke-kun," she screamed while she flew through the door and scrambled down the stairs towards the gates. "You're really heavy, you know that, Teme?" "HN," was his reply. He barely had enough life in him to mumble. You know they won't exactly let you go without punishment. But I'm sure after they hear your reasons they'll probably tone it down a bit. Sasuke groaned, even after putting another hole in his stomach. He just can't give up, can he? His mouth formed a faint smile. Thank you. Arg, he grunted as Naruto almost tripped on a stone. Don't worry, we're almost at the hospi. Sasuke-kun. Naruto looked towards the sound of the scream and to his surprise, Sakura was running up to him, tears in her eyes. She gasped as she looked at the damage Naruto did to Sasuke. She came over and, slap, what did you think you were doing? Trying to kill him? Sakura-chan, don't Sakura-chan me. I don't want to hear your excuses, Naruto. Maybe the villagers are right to scorn you. Because of you, my Sasuke-kun is half dead. She sobbed. She's right, I shouldn't have gone all out. What have I done? And also, why didn't you bring me along, huh? I thought you trusted me? I could have helped, you know. Maybe if you weren't so goddamned careless, Sasuke-kun wouldn't be in this condition. She screamed. Her words stung more than she would ever know. Or maybe she did know, and that's why she was saying it. I do trust you. I just didn't want you to get hurt. Sakura-chan, you know I would never hurt you. What do you think you're doing, huh? She retorted. Naruto, I thought you said you'd promise to do your best to make me happy. I guess it isn't true that you always keep your promises. I hung my head down, too ashamed to look her in the eyes. You just didn't want to bring me cause you thought that I'd be a burden. Well, guess what, Naruto? I didn't train under a Sannin for nothing, you know? The only reason I ever trained with Tsunade-sensei was so that I could be a help when it came time to bring Sasuke-kun back. You're not a burden. You could never be. How could someone as beauty? Don't try flattering me, Naruto. If you didn't think I was a burden then your actions would have proved it. But everyone hates you, Naruto. This whole damn village hates you. Why can't you just do us a favor and leave? At least then this village would be rid of its demon. Then she took Sasuke off my back and stormed straight to the hospital, leaving me in the middle of the street with blood running over my whole body. I sank to my knees, not being able to comprehend what she just said. I gasped, demon. No, not my Sakura-chan, don't Sakura-chan me. She didn't mean it, I told myself. But still, it hurts. I put my hand up to my cheek and touched where she slapped me. It didn't hurt physically, more on the inside. She hasn't hit me in so long. She's just overwhelmed with him coming back and all. You keep telling yourself that, boy. Just shut up. You knew this would happen. You knew that as soon as you brought him back she would leave you. I said shut up, you bastard fox. Why don't you make me? Sasuke has always had her heart from the moment she laid eyes on him. No, we're engaged. She would never leave me. She only said that because of all the emotions that came up because of Sasuke coming back. She's smart enough to realize that she loves me. Whatever you say. Then why would she take Sasuke to the hospital and leave you out here in the rain? Huh? Tell me. I don't know. I sure do. It's because she's still in love with Sasuke. You're wrong. I'll make it up to her by buying her flowers when she gets better. She still loves me. She still loves me. Whatever you say. Tired and bloody, I fell forward on the wet pavement, falling unconscious. When I woke up, all I could see was bright white. Where am I? I stuttered, still only seeing this bright light. Then a voice broke the silence. You're in room 407 of Konoha Hospital. What? You've been in here for about a week. I dare say even you can't just get up and stroll around after having a hole in your chest. Suddenly, my vision became clear and I saw Jiraiya standing over me with a smile on his face. How ya doing, boy? Apparently you're free to leave now because of your furry friend inside of you, he chuckled. It all came back to me then. The reason why I was here, my fight with Sasuke, the hole in my chest and Sakura-chan. I looked up at him. Anybody visit me while I was out? He answered, yay. The whole rookie 9 in Ayame, Tuchi, Uruka, Gaara. Sakura-chan? I said while cutting him off. He just looked away for a moment, then looked back at me. You should probably get up and get out of here. You never did like being in hospitals. Then he walked out. She didn't visit at all? Has she calmed down? What if something happened to her? Where was she? I know. Probably with the Uchiha. She just hasn't seen him in years. I'm sure she just missed him. Yay, maybe. But you're her fiancé, for crying out loud. You think she'd at least give a she. You don't think I realize that? I don't even know what's going on anymore. Well then, maybe you should buy her flowers like you said. Yay, might as well. Oh, QB? Thanks. No problem, kid. It's good to be out of that place, I thought as I walked out. I stretched out my arms and took in a big breath of fresh air. It's also good to be back home. That mission took nearly 4 weeks, didn't it? I started walking down the road towards Ino's flower store. Naruto-kun. I looked back and Neji, Lee, and Tenten came running over to me. I stood and waited for them. At least these guys don't hate me. Naruto-kun, I heard about the fight with you and Sasuke. Congratulations on winning. Your youthfulness still shines bright. Lee practically shouted. Will you shut up with the youth crap? Tenten screamed. Don't you agree, Neji? I guess. Oh, thanks anyways guys, but I'm just not in the mood. I said while looking down. I started walking off. Neji, Lee, and Tenten all looked at each other before nodding and running after me. Hey, Naruto. Neji said while turning to look at me. Why don't we talk about it over some ramen, eh? I really haven't gotten to know you much, but ever since that fight at the Chunin exams I've been beginning to realize what makes you so strong. Oh, I said interested, what's that? Then it's settled, Tenten agreed, we'll talk about it over some ramen. Thanks guys. No problem Naruto-kun. We'll always be here to help keep your youthfulness shining bright. Lee exclaimed. Will you shut up? Both the Hyuga and the weapons mistress yelled. Naruto smiled. Naruto walked away from the ramen stand feeling a bit better. What makes you so strong Naruto, Neji said, is that your heart is so big. He believes in me. A Hyuga actually believes in me. Neji, you don't know how much it means to me that I still have people who don't take me for granted in this village. I think I'm finally beginning to make more friends. But still, Sakura-chan, smash. Naruto? Ino said looking a bit concerned. Ah, crap, that hurt like a bitch. I yelled while holding my forehead. Yay, I think that walking right into my store's front window would rattle you a bit. What were you doing anyways? Actually, I was on my way to your shop to buy a couple flowers for a certain somebody. Wait. Let me guess. Forehead girl? Ino said. I nodded my head. Ah, that's so sweet. Yay, she's really mad at me for beating up Sasuke that much and I want to make it up to her. Have you seen her lately? I questioned. Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't seen her since Sasuke returned. You don't think she still has feelings for him, do you? She's engaged to you. I hope she doesn't still feel that way. I don't know what I would do without her. Naruto sighed. Well, Ino said while putting her arm on my shoulder, do you want to talk about it? Nah, I think I'll just get my flowers and go talk about it with Sakura-chan. I answered. Hey, she said while giving me a hug. Why don't you come down and get some coffee with me, Choji, and Shikamaru? God knows that lazy ass could use some. I couldn't help but blush with a girl this beautiful hugging me. When she broke apart I just chuckled, why not? That's more like it, she exclaimed and took my arm and started pulling me towards the coffee shop that the others were in. Man, I have some good friends, I thought. Uchiha Sasuke. Room 212, thank you, I said and walked towards his room with my flowers and a card in hand. I wonder if she's even in there. What am I saying? The nurse said that girl hadn't left the room ever since he came. What if she slaps me again? I stopped walking. Nah, she has to have gotten over it. I started walking again. Room 212. I was about to open the door when I heard two people talking inside. I opened the door slightly and I saw Sakura-chan hugging Sasuke. I was about to run in there when... Stop, just watch. It may reveal the truth. I watched and listened. Sasuke-kun, Sakura stammered while crying, I'm so glad you're back. Shush, Sasuke said while stroking her hair. I thought I'd never see you again. I'm sorry. Sorry? You think that one word can make up for all the pain that you've caused me? Then Sasuke did something totally unlike him. He took her hand and intertwined it with his own. Sakura gasped. Suddenly he stopped and looked down frowning at the ring on her hand. Who's the lucky man? Oh this stupid thing. It's the Dobi isn't it? Sasuke said. Sakura-chan didn't respond. He was about to turn away when she grabbed his arm and said, Sasuke-kun, this doesn't matter. It's just a stupid ring, it doesn't mean anything. I haven't even married him yet, we're just engaged. Then she took the engagement ring off her finger and threw it on the ground. I never really loved him Sasuke-kun, he's just annoying and loud. Sure I was dating him and I just didn't know what to say when he proposed to me, so I said yes. But don't you see? The only person I've ever loved is you. Their lips closed in together and touched as they started putting their hands up each other's shirts. A teardrop fell on the ground outside the door. Sakura didn't notice, but Sasuke heard this and immediately looked towards the door while he was still kissing Sakura. Teary blue eyes met Onyx's eyes. My eyes met Sasuke's as I dropped the flowers. Time seemed to slow down as I took the ring off and laid it onto the flowers, my eyes never leaving Sasuke. My tears also fell on the letter, blotching the simple writing that said, Sakura. Love, Naruto. I needed to get out of here. I ran out of the hospital, not caring where I ended up, as long as it was away from them. I just kept running and running, occasionally ramming into people. I ignored their threats and complaints about what they were going to do to me. Some angry villages were taunting me saying, "Ha! Look at the demon of Konoha. Crying like a baby. That's what I am, the demon of Konoha." After running for about 30 minutes I found myself on top of the Yondaime's head. I screamed at the top of my lungs, "Ah!" I hit the ground with my fist making a small dent where I hit. Why me? Why does everything bad always happen to me? Kit, you were right. I thought while bawling my eyes out. You were right all along. I'm sorry, Kit. You're the only one I can trust now, QB. You're my only friend. What about the rest of the Rookie 9? They'll desert me after they learn about me being a Jinchuriki. You don't know, duh. Yes, I do. Everybody else left me. Jiraiya didn't. Jiraiya still believes in you. Jiraiya. Perhaps the only person I can trust now. Why? Why can't she just love me? Am I really that annoying? Why did she play me like that? I loved her and for Christ's sake we were engaged. You think she would love me more because of that stupid promise I fulfilled? I would have died for her. Is there really something wrong with me? Well, it's you. She hates me because you're inside me, right? I never should have told her. I never should have told anyone. I'm sorry for making everyone hate you. If it's anything to you, I'm sorry for treating you so bad early on. You don't have to apologize to anyone. You didn't choose to get stuck inside me. Are you going to talk her? I don't want to have anything to do with them anymore. Even Sasuke? Sasuke, he's like a brother to me. And he did nothing wrong, besides he loves her too. Do you still love her? Yay, how could I stop? But, she'll never be mine. I'm sorry for not listening to you earlier. It's not your fault. So what are you gonna do now? I don't even know. Maybe I'll. Naruto. Suddenly stirred from my thoughts, I looked at the Anbu behind me. Yes? Hokage-sama wants you at her office immediately for debriefing. She looks rather upset. I'll be right there. What the hell did you think you were doing? She screamed at me as I walked in her office. Is that a trick question? I replied, I was trying to get Sasu. I got cut off due to the fact that I was sent flying through the wall. Her punches always hurt. I don't want to hear your smart-ass mouth in my office, you little brat. Do you know how much you put me and my entire staff through due to your leaving? I remained silent. Didn't think so. I was working after hours and sent needless shinobi into the field that could have been used for missions here. You better be glad that you weren't labeled as a missing ninja. She cleared her throat. Also, I was working damn hard trying to persuade the council to not send Hunter Nins out for you. Do you know what would I got him back, didn't I? I yelled. Yay, sure you got him back, after disobeying a direct order and almost killing him in the process. Because I don't think you understand, Naruto. He's the last Uchiha, the very last one, and without him, we lose the Sharingan forever. Do you know how much that would cost this village? Too much. She kept pacing around the room, then suddenly slammed her fist into her desk, breaking it in half. Maybe if you didn't have that damn fox in you, then you could have brought Sasuke back here in one piece. Naruto, quite frankly, we can't afford to have someone that careless on our staff. And we definitely can't afford to have someone who is that careless become our Hokage. Are you saying, Naruto, I'm going to have to rethink my decision to choose you as my successor? For the good of the Ville. Fuck you, old hag. She stopped in the middle of her ranting and glared at me. What did you say? I said fuck you, bitch. Fuck Hokage. Fuck Konoha. What has this shithole ever done for me? I'll teach you to mind that big mouth of yours, brat. Tsunade moved right in front of him and tried to punch him in the face. Naruto swiftly caught the punch in his hand with ease, then punched Tsunade across the room. Naruto looked at his hands, then back at Tsunade, then quickly disappeared. Tsunade wiped the blood from her lip and got back up, but he was gone. I never thought that he'd actually hit me. This is going to be a very long day. Anbu. Yes, Hokage-sama. Did you see Naruto run out? Tsunade said. Yes, he walked out a few moments ago. It was very strange though, his eyes were red. Tsunade looked at the floor shaking. Oh my god, what have I done? I ran back to my apartment as fast as I could. I could care less about the tears in my eyes. The people in the street turned to look at me as I ran by. Some weren't the nicest looks. I threw open my door and walked inside, not bothering to close it, and started packing. Ramen, check. Nightcap, check. Ninja gear, check. After I finished packing, I walked over to my desk and took out a sheet of paper. I needed to write a letter to everyone telling them how I feel. I began to write. What you're about to read is how I feel and is why I've left the village of Konoha for a different meaning in life instead of meaningless suffering. I have nothing left for me here. All this place has ever done is bring me pain. First Sakura-chan was taken away from me. And now they're trying to take my dream? I don't have any reason to stay anymore. Tsunade, you think you would encourage me for trying to become Hokage. But all you've done is tear me down. You said that a Hokage should do what's best for the village. Well, hell, that's what I did when I brought Sasuke back. Sasuke. Why? Why does this whole village worship him? What has he ever done for this village? He's the traitor who left the village to go to our biggest enemy. But even after he's come back, everybody else still kisses the ground that he walks on. Well, I'm sick of it. But Sasuke, it's not your fault. You'll never know how much you mean to me. You saved me from my loneliness. You were my first friend, that's probably why I was so relentless in trying to get you back. Don't feel bad about Sakura-chan. She obviously doesn't want me, and if anybody else had to have her, I can't think of anyone I'd rather have be with her than you. I'm actually surprised I can tell you all of this without my pride getting in the way. You're like a brother to me, at least, that's how I feel. The brother I never had. Take care, Teme. Kakashi, thank you for your Cage Bunshin training strategies. They are going to greatly benefit me in my training these next couple years. Don't feel bad about abandoning me for Sasuke in our early Genin days. You were the only one in the village who could train him in the Sharingan, and looking back now, I probably would have done the same thing if I was in your shoes. You're forgiven. Arrow Senin, I'll keep in touch shortly. And Sakura-chan, after all I've done for you, is it ever enough? All I've ever wanted was for you to look at me the way you look at Sasuke. At least you'll be happy now that your demon is gone. I loved you, and you treated me like trash. You probably saw my flowers at the hospital door, but I saw everything. How could you do that? I thought you loved me? How can you that say our engagement means nothing, that I mean nothing? I've been by your side ever since the academy, and all that Sasuke has ever done is call you annoying and tell you go away, but you still run to him after he betrays our village, leaving me out in the rain with blood dripping over my body. In a way, we're the same, you and me. While Sasuke was being mean to you, you were calling me annoying after hitting me and telling me to go away. But whoever liked me? Nobody likes a demon. You guys take care of yourselves. Maybe we'll see each other again. Maybe. Someday. Sincerely. Uzumaki Naruto. I looked over the paper, then set it on top of my desk for them to see. What are you doing? I'm leaving. For good? I'm done with this god-forsaken village. It's about time. HNN. What are you gonna do? Train to beat Akatsuki. What and who are you going to train with? Well, for what? I'm gonna steal the Forbidden Scrolls from the Hokage Tower. And for who? I was wondering. If I'd train you, would you? Might as well. Nothing else to do. Well, we're here. All I gotta do is get the scrolls and get out. I snuck into the secret library in the Hokage Tower, careful not to pull any traps that might have been set. In the back, I did a hand sign, and then concentrated my chakra into my hands while I thrust my palm at a spot on the wall. The wall slid open and I walked inside, the scrolls laying before me. Let's see Forbidden Scrolls. Here, there are 4. Kit, you might want to get the one labeled Hirishin no Jutsu. Why? That was the Yondaime's prized technique along with the Rasengan. No way? Hurry up and get them. I'm on it. I took the scrolls, strapped them on my back and snuck out of the library as quietly as I snuck in. When I was outside the tower, I ran as fast as I could towards the gate of Konoha. I imagined I looked much like Jiraiya with that giant scroll on his back. I passed Ichiraku, Ino's flower store, the coffee shop. I didn't stop to look at them, even though I knew I'd probably never see them again. When I was at the gates, I took a deep breath. I was about to run through the gates when a voice stopped me. Where do you think you're going? I slowly turned around. Sasuke. He walked out from behind a bush and looked at me quizzically. Those wouldn't happen to be the Hokage's Forbidden Scrolls now, would they? And what if they are? I yelled, not trying to be stealthy. You're in no condition to fight me since it looks like last week's ass-kicking is still taking its toll on you. I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to talk to you. Sorry, Sasuke, but I don't have the time. I turned to walk away. No, just listen. If you're leaving because of Sakura, I'm really sorry, Naruto. She led me on and Sasuke, that's only partly why I'm leaving. Talk to Tsunade if you want to know the rest. And Sasuke, you can't hide it. I know you love her. Maybe not as much as I do, but her heart has always been yours. Just, please, take good care of her. Sasuke hung his head in shame. It hurt him so much to know that he was taking away so much from Naruto. Naruto, I would let you have her, but I love her too. I won't give her up. You know you don't have to leave. You still have people who care about you in this village. Like who? Neji, Tenten, Shikama. Not after they find out about the Kyuubi. They'll still care for you after they find out. Sakura-chan didn't, I said while looking away. I still care about you. I turned around and looked him directly in the eyes. We stayed like that for a while. Then I walked up to him slowly and embraced him. And you don't know how much that means to me. I said while crying. You don't have to leave. Wouldn't you do the same thing if you were me? Sasuke didn't say anything. I walked slowly up to the gate. When I reached it, I turned around. Sasuke was still there. I promise I'll see you again. And I never break my promises. I stated, goodbye Naruto. Goodbye, brother. Then Naruto disappeared out of sight. After a while Sasuke muttered, goodbye brother. He slowly turned around and walked back to the Uchiha compound. He figured he'd tell Tsunade when he woke up at around, 11 o'clock or so. He wanted to give Naruto as much of a head start as he could get. End flashback. Naruto stood before the gates of Konoha, reminiscing about his past. Soon I'll see you again, Sasuke. In the Hokage Tower council room. I have called this meeting today in order to discuss the situation with this new hidden village that has formed called Sanetogakure. Tsunade stated to everyone in the room. The meeting comprised of Tsunade, Jiraiya, Danzo, Koharu, and Homura, along with the rest of the clan heads. They are becoming a threat, aren't they? Danzo sneered. We should neutralize them then. Dispose of them before they become an even bigger threat. I'm afraid they already are. As of now they have the strongest and biggest military force this world has ever seen. Tsunade said. Impossible. Koharu scoffed. They've been around for what, 3 years? They couldn't have comprised a military that big so soon. Actually, it's very simple. Jiraiya explained. The leader of Sanetogakure made an invitation to all the missing ninjas in the world. All of them. He got many people to gather by pledging amnesty and freedom from the hunter nins after them. Well, it'd sure take someone powerful to fend off all the hunter nins after the nuke nins. Homura added with sarcasm dripping from his lips. It is. Tsunade replied. Apparently, Jiraiya informed me that it's Akatsuki leading the village. Does that Maya? Yes. Jiraiya finished. We think that they've finally acquired all the Biju. So the Kyuubi? We have to assume they have it. Naruto, Jiraiya and Tsunade thought, please be alright. Jiraiya, what else has your agent told you about the organization? Tsunade inquired. Lots. They are located in Wave Country and apparently they have a new leader. What? No one could have defeated Pain. He was practically as good as the Yondaime. Danzo exclaimed. Well, whoever it is, they did. My agent told me that he knocked out all of the members in multiple battles. After that, he took a soldier pill and proceeded to fight Pain one-on-one. He barely came out alive. He took the ring off Pain's finger and put it on his thumb. Supposedly this makes you the new leader. The only other thing I know is that he has Akatsuki's full allegiance and everyone in it would gladly give their life for this guy. Jiraiya explained. Why? Homura said. It appeared that Pain controlled all of the members with that ring that he has. After Pain was defeated and the new guy put the ring on, he had the ability to control everything the rest of the members did. The worst part was that the other members were conscious the whole time they were being controlled. They saw everything that they did, everybody that they killed. But why did they give him their allegiance? Well, the new leader got all of the Akatsuki members in a room and released the curse from them, abruptly ending the control of them. Jiraiya finished. What kind of person would give up that kind of power out of kindness? Danzo questioned. He had some of the most powerful ninjas in the world at his mercy and he let them go because of kindness? Yes. And because of this, they're eternally grateful. They've dedicated the rest of their lives to following this leader. I also heard that they are all companions and that Itachi is best friends with the leader. Do you think that he was controlled by pain during the Uchiha massacre? Tsunade asked hopefully. Jiraiya contemplated. We have no idea to tell for sure, but my guess would be yes. That's good news, but what about the Biju? Tsunade said. Well, we know that they have 1 through 8, which that by itself is more than enough reason to be frightened, but now that they have started a village, I can only guess that they have the 9 tails also. But what would they do with them? Koharu questioned. If they sealed them into the members, then it would kill them. Do you think that they're planning to put the Biju into newborns like the Yondaime? No, Jiraiya answered. I already know what they did with them, and it's actually quite brilliant. Jiraiya. Tsunade snapped. Don't compliment the enemy. Yay, sure. Anyways, they didn't seal them into someone, but something. You know those rings that they have? So that's why they value those rings so much. Danzo muttered. Exactly. With the Biju sealed into rings, it won't kill the person carrying it, and it will be easy to hand off the rings if somebody dies. It may not have the same benefits as having the 2 chakra sources mix with each other like in a Jinchuriki, but it is still an incredible destructive force. That is brilliant. So what Akatsuki members carry the rings now? Tsunade asked. Well, there's Itachi with the 8-tailed, Kisame with the 7-tailed, Zetsu with the 6-tailed. This blue-haired girl who is rumored to have the Byakugan, named Kanaki, has the 5-tail. What? How could someone outside of the Hyuga clan have that dujutsu? It's impossible. Hiashi yelled. No, it's not. She took the eyes from a member of the main family after she killed her. No main member of the Hyuga household has been killed except. Jiraiya hung his head down. Hiashi finished. My wife. I'm really sorry, Hiashi. But don't go looking for revenge yet, don't make the same mistake I did. Sasuke said while walking in the room. I'm glad you could finally make it, Sasuke. Tsunade said, glaring. Don't worry, I didn't miss anything. I was actually outside the door listening in. Well, good. Anyway, Kanaki has the 5-tailed, Deidara has the 4-tailed, Tobi has the 3-tailed, Kakuzu has the 2-tailed, and Hidan has the 1-tailed. The 9-tailed? Sasuke asked. Well, the leader of course. Danzo said. Damn it. Sasuke cursed. So Naruto? We don't know that they have it for sure, Sasuke. Don't make any brash moves you might regret. But if you want to know what I think that he's alive. Tsunade said. You're right, Sasuke agreed, that Dobi would never go back on his promises. That's real touching and all, but can't we get back to the matter at hand? Koharu added. Yes, I'm sorry. So how big exactly do you think their military power is? Danzo said curiously. My agent informs me that they would win if they fought with us, the cloud, rock, and sand. And more ninjas arrive every day. Jiraiya said. But we'd have way more ninjas than them. Maybe, but their caliber of ninjas are much stronger. What do you mean, Jiraiya? Tsunade questioned. Well, first of all, what's the reason why missing nins are chased after by hunter nins? So that the secret techniques and bloodlines of the village don't fall into oh my god. Precisely. They've been training with other ninjas in the village for the past 3 years. The leader of Sanetogakure and Akatsuki has emphasized how important it is to show everyone the secret techniques from their former village. So you're saying? Yay. I'm guessing everyone will know everybody else's techniques. That's amazing. Sasuke gasped. And that's without adding to the fact they probably have tons of bloodline limits. If that village flourishes, think of all the clans that they'll have. The leader is trying to get everyone to breed and start clans of their own. Just think, Danzo said, in 50 years or so, that village will be literally unstoppable. We need to stop them now. I agree with Danzo, Koharu stated, we need to get all of the hidden villages together and discuss a way to destroy that village. Are you kidding? Tsunade yelled, no village would agree to that. With all the tension between the villages, you think that they would risk putting all of the village leaders in the same place at the same time? Be realistic. And even if we did, it'd take time and I'm not so sure that fight would be a pushover. Akatsuki by itself could probably take this village. So what are we going to do? Homura asked. I think the best action would be to wait it out while sending out messenger birds to all the other hidden villages telling them what's going on. Tsunade said. No. Danzo said while pounding his fist on the table, we need to take action now or we'll be crushed. You'll do as I say. Tsunade yelled back. Danzo sat down. I need to get those rings. With all of their rings in my sole possession, I'll be the strongest shinobi in the world. So, what is the government structure of this village? Sasuke said. Is it dictatorship? Is there a bunch of people leading it? Actually, Jiraiya said, it's not a dictatorship like you'd think. They have the normal genin, chunin and junin, but they also have elite forces similar to our Anbu. One of them is called Neo, which is the assassination department of the village. I've heard that they are very highly skilled. Then they have the run-of-the-mill medic nins. One of them I heard is extremely talented medic as well as fighter. She's actually from Konoha and she'd rival Sakura or Tsunade. Kakashi might be familiar with her. Rin, at least Kakashi will be happy to know that she's alive. Sasuke thought. Then they have a group called Omni, which is a group dedicated to protecting the missing nins in the village and protecting the border. They've been doing a very good job at it too. No hunter nins so far have killed a single nuke nin. You'd think that with all the hunter nins from all the villages that they would at least kill one. Kaharu exclaimed. Yay, but the leader puts his ninjas and the citizens of his village safety before anything else, so he has his most skilled ninjas protecting them. Jiraiya said. What is the leader and Akatsuki's role in the village? Homura asked. Akatsuki is the top of the heap there. They act like a council and they take on the toughest missions if they need them. Jiraiya said. They already get missions? Tsunade said. Yes, and they get more missions than any other hidden village in the world. Lots more, he replied. That explains the drop in missions over the past year or two. She muttered. Who is their Kage? Their Kage is the leader of Akatsuki and the village. He is the supreme commander of the village. The second in command is Itachi and the rest of the members report to him also. Their economy is also booming. Because of the mission applications, they have more money than they know what to do with. We know what a Kage is. Tell us more about him. Sasuke ordered. Not much is known about him. All I know is that he is very young, around 21, very strong, and that he is a former Konoha ninja. 21? Former Konoha shinobi? Could it be? No, he couldn't have gotten that powerful so quick. It's impossible. Thank you, Jiraiya. This meeting is adjourned. We'll meet again, Tamo. Hokage-sama. Konohamaru burst into the room rather clumsily. What is it? Whatever it is better be good or all. Akatsuki is at the gate. Tsunade stared blankly at him. Speak of the devil. All of them are there, including their leader. They wish to come in peace and they want your most skilled ninjas to come with you along with anybody else you wish. You talked to them? Tsunade yelled half-heartedly, not believing her ears. No, I was there with Kakashi and he told me to tell you. Tsunade looked back at everyone still in the room. Let's go. And Sasuke, I want you to gather the entire Rookie 9 and all of our strongest shinobi and meet us at the gate. Yes, Hokage-sama. He swiftly exited the room. She nodded. They all disappeared towards the gate. Ah, the great copy ninja, Hitaki Kakashi. I'm honored, Naruto said. What a coincidence, he thought. Akatsuki, Kakashi muttered under his breath. I'm in for it this time. Akatsuki stood right at the gate's entrance. All 9 of them making somewhat of a triangle formation, with Itachi and Naruto at the front. They were about to enter the village when Kakashi moved right in front of them, preventing from advancing. Kakashi, I do not want to fight you. Now, will you move aside? Naruto asked. I'm very sorry. Although, I'm pretty sure I don't want to fight the leader of Akatsuki either, but I can't allow you to pass. Well, Itachi said, did you send someone to tell Lady Hokage that we're here? Yay, and you better prepare yourselves because she's bringing our most powerful shinobi with her. Kakashi said. Ha ha ha. Everybody in Akatsuki laughed. As much as we'd love to annihilate Konoha shinobi Kakashi, we're not here to fight. But if you want us to, I guess we can't disagree. That wouldn't be proper for a guest. Kisame sneered. The rest of Akatsuki snickered. That's enough, Kisame. We don't want to start a fight yet. Naruto said. Kakashi tensed up. So they might fight after all. I hope I'm not the one facing them. Kakashi stood his ground, hoping that Tsunade would hurry up soon. If she didn't, he might be finished. Why would they just waltz in here if they were trying to invade? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe they don't want to fight after all. Akatsuki started walking towards Kakashi. Kakashi slipped into a fighting stance, expecting them to stop walking. Surprisingly, they didn't. They just walked right past him, ignoring him. Tell Hokage to meet me us in the middle of town. Kakashi, till later, Naruto said. Kakashi just turned around and watched them as they walked into the distance. Ha ha ha, did you see his face? He looked like he was about to shit himself. Hidan said. Yay, Deidara agreed, I didn't know that we were that intimidating. I bet you we could waltz into the Hokage Tower and ask her for her hat and she'd give it to us. Yes, Kakuzu added, we do seem to have some sort of a reputation. You think? Naruto said sarcastically. Yes, I do. Wanna say that again to my face? Oh no, I'm so afraid. Grr. Ha ha ha. Kanaki laughed. Not so tough anymore are you? I wouldn't be talking, Kanaki, Toby laughed. You got beaten by me. You shouldn't be talking either, Toby, Itachi retorted, I beat all y'all. Not me. Yay, that was a given Naruto, Zetsu said. Yay, I'm so good. I still want another rematch, Naruto. Itachi said. Yay sure, I'll just win Agai oh my god. What is it? The other 8 said. It's. He stuttered as he pointed his finger. They slowly followed his finger until their vision rested on Ichiraku's ramen. It's just, Kanaki started. Ramen, 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 Naruto shouted as he sprinted to the now much bigger restaurant. Wow, they've really done something with this. He ran inside and sat down at a table big enough for all 9 of them. He started snapping his fingers in the air, signaling a waitress to come. The rest of them just sweat dropped. Did he just? Yep, Itachi said. We'd best follow him before he gets angry. They skeptically looked at him for a second before shrugging and going into the restaurant. Last time he was angry was not fun. Itachi thought. They sat down next to him and were silent for a few moments while Naruto was rubbing his hands in anticipation. They were looking at each other before Toby said, won't the Hokage be mad that you ditched an important meeting for some ramen? Nah, Naruto said while waving his hands, she can wait a couple minutes, or 45. Everyone chuckled. Just then Ino came up and was about to ask them what they'd like. Hello, welcome to Ichiraku's ramen. What would you like to order? Akatsuki, what are you doing here? Ino yelled right in Toba's ear. Ouch woman, Toby said while putting his finger in his ear. Is that a trick question? We were about to order before you started yelling. Zetsu said sarcastically. Now may we order our food? Naruto asked. Alright, I'll have 10 bowls of miso ramen and everybody else will just have 1. Naruto said. Oh yay, I almost forgot. Lots of sake. Everyone murmured their agreement. Alright, be right out? Ino said. This is totally weird. Naruto started daydreaming about ramen with a little bit of drool hanging out of his mouth. Ramen, Naruto. Itachi snapped, it's polite to take your hat off in a restaurant. Naruto looked around at all the others, noticing that all their hats were off. Except Zetsu, he can't really put a hat on to begin with. That's not fair. Since I'm the leader I say I don't take my hat off and you have to train with Lee tomorrow. Naruto said. Fine, Itachi mumbled. Hopefully he'll forget what he said after he gets his ramen. They all talked about random stuff for about 15 minutes, except for Naruto, he was too busy daydreaming about ramen. It was until Itachi said. So how about it, Naruto? He said turning his head. We were going to go drinking after tonight's meeting and we're all wondering if that's alright with you? Alright? When is it ever not alright? Then it's settled. We gonna go drinking, he said enthusiastically. Hurrah! They all chanted and clanked their glasses together. Ino said looking a bit confused. Oh, hey shut up guys, our ramen is here. Just take it. She thrust the ramen at them. She turned around and was about to walk away when the only guy with his hat on said, we're done. What? She said and looked back. All the ramen was gone. Amazing, we'll take the bill now. No, we don't want any trouble. It's on the house. Wow, if I was a lesser person I'd surely take advantage of that, but, sadly I'm not. Naruto thought. No I insist. We'll also leave in a pretty nice tip for a girl as beautiful as you. Naruto said. Ino's face turned cherry red as she heard what he said. Naruto put the money down on the table and tipped his hat to her, then promptly walked out with the rest of Akatsuki at his heels. Ino stood there, perplexed. Also, that guy left way too much Ryu on the table. About twice as much needed. Since when have they been so nice, she thought? Oh well. She grinned evilly, then stuck the money in her pocket and went to get a rag and clean up. Where the hell are they? Tsunade yelled. Kakashi, are you sure they said they'd meet you here? Yes, Hokage-sama, I'm positive. Well, they better be here soon, it's been almost 30 minutes. I hope they get here soon, for my sake. Kakashi gulped. They'll come. And besides, what would you do if they didn't declare war? Jiraiya taunted. She punched Jiraiya in the face and he flew back into an outdoors restaurant, making tables and chairs fly everywhere. Nobody asked you, idiot. Tsunade, there was something familiar about the leader of Akatsuki. Kakashi said. Oh really, and what was that? Tsunade asked. It was his voice. I don't know, it just sounds familiar. Well, I thought something might, he was from Konoha. Jiraiya said, standing up from the rubble and brushing himself off. Are you serious? So that wasn't me just going crazy? Kakashi said, surprised. Did you see his face? Jiraiya said, excited. No, he answered. No, I didn't. They all had their hats and cloaks on when they were with me. Oh, Jiraiya said, disappointed. They say that no one has seen his face outside of the Akatsuki members. The only reason we knew the old one was because of Sasuke's and Sakura's infiltration 4 years ago. Just then Sasuke showed up along with the Rookie 9, Sai, Yamato, Konohamaru, Hanabi, and the clan heads. About time you showed up, Uchiha. Tsunade stated. Ah, I got lost on the path of life. Hey, that's my excuse. Kakashi accused while pointing his finger at Sasuke. Sasuke just casually looked at him and said, You say something? Kakashi's sweat dropped. That was mine too, he mumbled. Enough of that nonsense, get into your stances, they're coming. Tsunade whispered. All 9 came walking up the street towards the large group of Konoha shinobi. They had their arms around each other and were yelling profane words at one another. These sure don't look like our biggest threat. Hell, they don't even look like shinobi. Actually, they look like they're drunk? Tsunade screamed. What the hell is going on? Oh boy, she's pissed. Get out now. Ha. Deidara yelled. That still wasn't as bad as when we caught Itachi playing make-believe with Sasori's old puppets. That was priceless. I thought we weren't going to bring that up again. You guys suck. Haha, those were good, Tim. Hey. Compose yourselves, we're here. Naruto said. All the Akatsuki members got back into a triangle formation and stopped in front of Tsunade. Everybody had their hats off except for Naruto. He wanted to keep his identity concealed for as long as possible. Hopefully, get the treaty signed before they found out who he was. Good morning, Lady Hokage. Naruto politely said. Actually, more afternoon than morning seeing how late you are. Ah, yay. I got lost on the road of life. He replied. They all looked at him like he was crazy. What the hell? Is that coincidence or was he listening in? Anyways, on to business. What's the reason for coming to our village? You should be happy that our shinobi didn't attack you on sight. She said, staring at the leader. Yay, you're right. Otherwise Ino-san wouldn't have been very capable of serving this ramen now, would she? You served the enemy? How could you? Tsunade glared at Ino. Well, they had a really big tip. I don't care about your tip. Just let me bash that guy's head in for killing Naruto. Sakura yelled. Naruto? You must mean the container of the 9 tails? Were you two friends? Naruto said. Sort of, she sheepishly replied, thinking of her last words to him. Well, then I'm glad to say that he's alive. I abandoned what the old leader's goals were after I killed him. In fact, I even know where he is right now. Please tell me, Sakura pleaded. He's closer than you think. Then Naruto looked at Jiraiya and winked at him. Jiraiya's eyes widened as he realized exactly who it was that was standing before him. He was about to say something but Naruto put a finger to his lips, silencing him. Then, after Jiraiya got over the shock, he smiled. Finally at peace now that he had found his long-lost pupil. Tsunade looked at Naruto, then at Jiraiya. He knows something and I'm gonna find out. But, Naruto looked back at Sakura, I don't think you deserve to know. Sakura gasped, and then looked down at her feet. Naruto. He's right, I don't deserve to know. Then he walked past her and straight up to Tsunade and said, You probably want to know why I'm here, yes? Well, it's fortunate that you sent no ninjas to attack me because I wanted to come in peace. You most likely know all about our village and its workings. I hear Jiraiya is an excellent information gatherer. Well, that doesn't matter. Do you plan on attacking us, Lady Hokage? If we didn't know your military power then most likely yes, but as of now I'm undecided. I think that I'll wait it out. I bet you're glad, not having to attack your former village. Tsunade answered. Naruto tensed up immediately at this. How much do you know? He thought. He looked over at the two Uchihas who were intensely glaring at each other. I really hope Sasuke believes that Itachi was under control during the massacre. Itachi, Sasuke, stop glaring, he yelled. They both looked at him then looked away. How do you know my name? Sasuke inquired cautiously. Who doesn't know your name? The last Uchiha in Konoha, Sharingan user Sasuke. You're also Itachi's brother, dumbass. It's not like he didn't tell me about you, but I'd love to fight you. Naruto said smirking. I'd love to kick your ass. Sasuke retorted. Maybe if you took that stick out of your ass then you'd stand a chance. Naruto snapped back. Sasuke looked flustered but replied with a usual, HNN. You act just like your brother, Naruto said. Anyway, on with business. I want an alliance. You want an alliance? Tsunade said in disbelief. What makes you think we'd agree to an alliance with a bunch of missing shinobi? Because if you don't, I'll have to destroy your village, he said without hesitation. You make a good point. Indeed, I'll give you the terms. I want a complete ceasefire. No attacks of any kind. Even if you're provoked. There are too many excuses to start a war, and right now, I don't think that you want to be in a war with Sanatogakure. Second, travel through your lands without harassment. Also, I want amnesty with my nins. I want to be assured that they won't be attacked by hunter nins. I see. You need passage without conflict because you need to go through the fire country from Wave in order to get anywhere. Tsunade explained. That's not the only reason. You're the second strongest village out there. With you as our ally, I'm sure other villages would be less likely to attack. They'd also have to go through you to get to us, so it's kind of like a major defense for us, and the less casualties the better. But there's a catch, he said, you have to pick your best team and make them fight against me. All four of them against me. If I feel that if they do a good enough job against me, then I'll uphold the treaty. But if I feel that their display is less than satisfactory, I'll know that you're a weak village and more than likely declare war. And, believe it, even though I was part of Konoha, that was my past, and I will do all in my power to protect my village and ensure its success. Tsunade gulped. He's serious. She looked to her right and met eye contact with Jiraiya. He nodded at her then she turned back to Naruto. I accept your offer, but I also want to add something to the treaty. Naruto nodded his head, already knowing what she was going to say. If we're ever in need of your assistance, then you'll send the appropriate amount of shinobi to come to our aid. She said hopefully. And vice versa, consider it done. Naruto said, now let's hurry up and sign before we reconsider. Naruto tossed a scroll to Tsunade who proceeded to open it and read it. She took her time because she was checking for any trick on words that might have been in there. But surprisingly, she found it to be pretty straightforward. She looked at Naruto, then Jiraiya, then back at Naruto. She signed. Woo, now I need a bottle of sake. She reached inside her shirt and pulled out a hidden flask of sake inside her bust, couldn't resist. She took a huge sip. Just curious, Tsunade started, why the sudden change of mood? What happened with the cold killers of Akatsuki? Not to be offensive, but when you're walking down the street with your arms around each other, drunk and talking about puppets shows. She looked at Itachi and giggled. You don't give off a very terrorizing vibe. Let's just say that with me as their leader, a whole lot has changed. He grabbed her sake, took a giant gulp, and gave it back to her, and also, it's a lot more fun being friends than staring each other down all time. Not that we don't do that anyway. He chuckled. I guess. Now that it's over, I think I'll take my leave and tour Konoha for a bit. Naruto said. He turned around and was about to walk away when. Wait, Tsunade said. Oh boy, here it comes, he thought. I want to see the face of the person who I'm going to be in an alliance with. No? Oh, I insist, she said gleefully. He sighed. Very well then. He turned around slowly and faced everybody. All eyes were glued on him. He sighed again and put his hand on his hat. Very slowly, he started taking it off, then let it fall off to his side. He looked up at Tsunade. Crash. The sake bottle fell to the floor and the liquid flowed freely over the pavement. Naruto? She said through teary eyes. Naruto? Tsunade said through teary eyes. And indeed, there stood Naruto, looking lots taller and developed than when they last saw him. His hair was now flowing down to just past his shoulders. Everyone's eyes traveled over his body. He was almost an exact copy of the Yondaime. Wow, he looks like Arashi. Well, that makes sense, seeing that he is his son. I would tell Naruto, but he's bright, I'm sure that he's figured it out. Jiraiya thought. Oh my god. Sakura thought. He's back. Tsunade was overjoyed. He was finally back. She looked at his face and recognized the resemblance immediately. Arashi. She looked like a person deprived of something for years and finally being able to reconcile with it. She started walking towards him. Then her eyes rested on his forehead protector and she stopped. There, right in the middle of it, was a slash that went through the Konoha emblem, and she remembered what she did, what she yelled at him in the Hokage office. How could I have been so thoughtless, she thought. That must have crushed him. Naruto, she whispered, I'm so sorry. She walked up to him and spread out her arms to embrace him, but he stepped back. Their eyes met for a while. Tsunade was searching, trying to find an answer in his eyes. Then he just shook his head. She felt like she had been stabbed through the heart. You haven't forgiven me yet, have you? She said, downcast. Actually, I have. Naruto said without hesitating, I'm just not going to make the same mistake I did the first time. That hurt worse. She fell to her knees and started crying. Jiraiya went up to her and put his arms around her tenderly. He looked up at Naruto. You've changed. He thought, you're finally growing up. I just wish it didn't have to be like this. Tsunade was gasping for breath. Her tears were coming down like a waterfall. Jiraiya leaned her head against his chest and held her tight. He started rubbing her back and whispering words of reassurance. She still didn't know it, but for the longest time, Jiraiya, the perverted hermit, loved her more than anything. Naruto-kun? Hinata gasped. Then she promptly fainted, but Kiba caught her before she hit the ground. He was still staring at Naruto. That ass. Hinata better not fall for him again, she's with me. Wow, Kakashi thought. You've really grown, Naruto. It's a good thing I didn't have to fight you back there. Then he took out his favorite novel and started reading. Kakashi sure hasn't changed, Naruto thought. I wonder how much everyone else has. He started gazing over everyone. Lee looks almost exactly like Guy. Then his eyes went over to Neji. Anbu. Just like I expected. He's probably still stuck up though. Then his eyes fell on a certain person and stayed there for a while. Sasuke. Sasuke was also staring right back at Naruto. Slowly, Naruto walked up to Sasuke. He got right in front of him and stared him hard in the eyes. They were both at a loss for words. They got closer. Their noses were almost touching each other's. Then Naruto suddenly wrapped his arms around him tight. Sasuke was surprised, but in return, wrapped his arms around Naruto also. Then Naruto's voice broke the silence. I told you I always keep my promises, he said with teary eyes. It's good to see you, brother. It's good to see you too. Sasuke whispered with tears starting to form in his eyes. Naruto broke apart and put his hand on Sasuke's shoulder. I want to have a talk. A real talk. Sasuke nodded his head. Alright, he whispered. And also, he cleared his throat, I want you to talk to Itachi. Sasuke tensed. He didn't know why he wanted him to, but he felt that he could trust Naruto. Then he hesitantly looked at Naruto. I will. Naruto stepped back and looked at everyone else. Everyone's sure different, he pondered. He started looking at everyone else. He looked over at Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji. Those three still always stick together, don't they? Akamaru barked and got his attention. Wow, he's sure gotten big. Kiba still looks the same though. His vision then settled on the unconscious girl in his arms. Is that Hinata? My god, has she gotten beautiful. I'll have to get to know her better. He thought while smirking. A bit of pink in his peripheral vision got his notice. He looked over, and then his eyes met with Sakura's. You, Naruto thought, trembling with rage on the inside. He glared at her, his eyes showing emotion for the first time. Sakura was looking back at him, not being able to take her eyes off Naruto's. It was as if she were under a spell. As much as she wanted to look away, she just couldn't. Naruto? Tears started forming at the corner of her eyes. Naruto just scoffed at the tears, then swiftly turned around and walked back towards Akatsuki. Sakura's tears started falling off her face onto the ground. Why was I so stupid? She thought. I need to talk to him. Naruto, I don't want to hear your excuses, Sakura. He yelled while he turned back towards her so sharply that his Akatsuki cloak whipped up dust from the ground. His pupils were now slits and his eyes were red. You don't have anything to say. Sakura looked at the ground. Everything looked blurry through the tears in her eyes. What have I done? She thought. I've destroyed the Naruto I once knew. She looked at the people around her. Everyone had pretty much forgotten what had happened 5 years ago. But now that he was back, everybody seemed to realize the impact of what she did. Naruto, if only you knew how I feel. But you're right. Nothing I say can make up for what I did. But still, Naruto, I want to talk to you. Please. She took a step forward and was about to run when she stopped. This isn't the time. Naruto then looked at Tsunade again. She looked pleading. Please. She cried. Naruto walked up to Tsunade and got right in front of her. Please. She cried again. He knelt down to eye level and looked her right in the eyes. Please what? He said sarcastically, please come back to this god-forsaken piece of shit that you call home. Please forgive you after you crushed my dream? Please give up everything I've worked for and come to a place where everyone calls me demon? He yelled. She broke down when she heard that, her skin becoming paler and her body shaking violently. Everybody else who didn't know about the Kyuubi looked confused as to why he said demon. Do they all even know, huh? He said. Do they even know why everyone hates me? Did you even fucking tell them? She kept looking down. Then Naruto got up. If you'll excuse me, I'll take my leave now, Hokage. He said with scorn. Then he turned around with the rest of Akatsuki and walked off. You know you didn't have to be so hard on them. Kanaki said. Oh, and you think I'd listen to someone who doesn't even know what she's talking about? Naruto snapped back. Hey, shut up. We're your friends Naruto and we really care about you. We're just saying, maybe that was a little too harsh. Zetsu said. Whatever. They walked on in silence. No one really had the nerve to say anything about what had occurred. They all realized how tough it must have been for Naruto to have made an alliance with the village that had hated him the most. Naruto was walking ahead of the group, his hands were inside his cloak and his hat was off, as if to say to the village, yay, I'm back. The road they were on was deserted and they could hear their footsteps padding on the dirt road. No one knew where they were going, no one cared or felt like saying anything. Then Naruto's voice broke the silence. I'm gonna go for a walk. Don't follow. Then he disappeared. Sakura walked back towards her apartment, not caring that everyone could see how pitiful she looked and that she was crying. She walked hastily with her head down, hearing grunts and groans as she ran into people. I'm such a bitch, she thought. You think? Inner Sakura said. I thought that he would have forgiven me by now. Is that a joke? Forgiven you? Huh, that's a laugh. What makes you think he'd ever forgive you? Inner Sakura bashed. It's just that, whenever I used to yell or hit Naruto, he'd always look the other way and forget about it. Aiju. Inner Sakura cut her off. Oh, so you expected him to just forget about it, after you cheated on him and basically called your love for him and your marriage worthless? We weren't married, Sakura retorted. Does it make a difference? Inner Sakura replied. You might as well have been. And you think he'd forget every single time you abused him either? You're disgusting. You killed the Naruto that we once knew. Well, what am I supposed to do? And I was naive. Bullshit. Inner Sakura cursed. Don't say you were naive when you were mature enough to get married. And ever thought that maybe you should talk to him? I can't. Why not? He hates me. It was silent in her head for a while. No shit, Sherlock. How could you give up that hot piece of ass? I don't know. And your relationship with Sasuke didn't work out so well either, did it? You're just bad luck with guys, aren't you? I want him back. I want Naruto back, she cried. Inner Sakura sighed. I know. I want him back too. But every choice that you make has a consequence. But if you tell me, no matter what you've done, Naruto said he would always have a special place in his heart for you, didn't he? I don't think that applies now. Sakura answered uncertainly. Well, I certainly think it does. Naruto has always been the clingy type. He's loved you since the academy days, for crying out loud. Inner Sakura yelled. I have to talk to him. Sigh, he probably won't want to, but that's all you can do. I hope I'm not fighting him tomorrow. You very well might be, after all, you're the strongest kunoichi in Konoha. Inner Sakura said proudly. I just don't know if I can bring myself to fight him. I'm afraid. So am I. Sakura opened the door to her apartment and walked in. She took off her clothes and stripped down to her bra. She walked over to the mirror and started looking at herself while she was turning around. I wonder if Naruto still thinks that I'm the prettiest girl in the world. She rubbed her hands down on her hips while she critiqued herself in her black bra. She sighed and went to the fridge and got out a bottle of iced tea. She sat at her kitchen table and took a sip. Then she laid her head down on the table and started crying. All the while, the only thing she could think of was Naruto? Naruto walked into the center of town by himself. It was afternoon, the busiest part of the day, so everyone was out and about doing their business. It was so crowded that you couldn't get by without bumping into people. At least I can lose those Anbu on my tail with this crowd, Naruto thought. And sure enough, the Anbu couldn't track him in this crowd. This is the first time in a while I've truly been able to do what I want, he thought. All the other times I've either been with Itachi or someone else from Akatsuki, and I usually have my guards around me most of the time. This feels so good. And the stares coming from the female population of Konoha didn't go unnoticed by the young blonde. Oh yay, he's seen that almost all of women that have walked by him have been staring at him with lustful eyes. Many would intentionally walk towards him and accidentally bump into him and then try to start a conversation. Some even went to extreme measures. This one girl went up to Naruto and bumped into him, and then when Naruto was about to walk away, she grabbed his ass. Another bumped into him once, then went back and bumped into him again, then did the same thing about 7 times. Naruto finally said, "Do you want something?" Needless to say, she turned bright red, gave him her address and screamed really loud before running back. Geez, if this keeps going on like this, I'm going to have a bigger fan club than Sasuke, he thought. Now I know what he has to deal with. He looked at all the shops as he passed. He couldn't help but frown as he remembered what the owners and workers of those stores did to him if he ever set foot near them. He sighed. Things sure have changed, he thought. It used to be that I couldn't even go out in public without being beaten. But now I have my own fan club. Naruto walked up to a nearby fruit stand. Apple? An old lady offered to him. Naruto smiled. Sure. He handed her 200 yen for being so generous. The lady looked dumbfounded. But by the time she looked at where Naruto had been, he was already lost in the crowd. Delicious, Naruto thought as he munched on the red apple in his hand before casually putting it by his side. He kept on walking through town until eventually he got towards the edge of Konoha near the training grounds and the Hokage monuments. He passed some young couples on his way there and he couldn't help but smile as they walked by, but then he frowned. It could have been like that, he thought. I guess I'm fated to be alone forever. When he arrived at the clearing, he stopped. He walked into the middle of the clearing and stood in front of the object. It was so quiet, you could hear the wind in the trees. Naruto just stared for a little while, tears starting to form in his eyes. He knelt down on his knees, still gazing at one spot. It's been a while, he said to no one in particular. I've missed you so much. He traced his fingers along the name Sarutobi. I haven't visited in so long. I remember, when I was little, I said that someday I'd like to be here, on this stone. Naruto hiccuped. But, I wish you could have seen the man I've become. Why, you could have helped stop everyone from hating me. Naruto pounded the stone. No, I shouldn't be blaming you. You're the only one who has ever really cared about me. Hell, even my own fiancé didn't give a shit. Naruto was taking deep breaths now while crying his eyes out. I wish that I could go back, and change it all. Silence. How could she be so heartless? Naruto yelled, now angry. She used me. I was just a replacement. Second best. Dead last. Naruto fell on the ground sobbing uncontrollably. Dead last, dead last. That's all I've ever been to her. Why couldn't she treat me like I was even human? Naruto sat up to his knees. Why? He whispered. Why can't I just forget about Konoha? Forget about the villagers? Forget about her? Naruto stood up straight while looking at his hands. Why, after all that, why'd I still low? Naruto suddenly looked to his right, aware of the chakra presence standing right next to him. Usually people couldn't sneak up on him, but his emotional state left him vulnerable. You know Naruto, Kakashi began, it's been a long time, but seeing you again has reminded me about someone. Some girl, who I used to think was dead. But after seeing you came back, I'm not so sure. Maybe she's still out there, somewhere. You're talking about Rin, aren't you? Kakashi's eyes widened considerably. He slowly turned towards Naruto, wondering how he knows about her, and maybe if he's seen her. Maybe she's alive, Naruto stated. And well, Naruto left it at that and started walking off away from Kakashi. Kakashi swiftly turned around and was about to barrage him with questions, but by the time he turned around, he was gone. She's alive? Kakashi fell to the ground, shedding tears of relief. Sasuke and Itachi both sat across from each other in the Uchiha mansion living room staring at each other. The tension in the air was so thick that you could feel it. Not one of them moved for a while, waiting for the other one to start the conversation or argument. Itachi sat with his hands at his side, looking nonchalantly at Sasuke, almost amused. Sasuke on the other hand wasn't amused. He had his hands on his lap gripping his shorts furiously. He was glaring at Itachi with hatred. Itachi finally broke the silence. "So, how have you been?" "Get out," Sasuke yelled. "Hey, it's my house too, you know?" Itachi replied. "I don't care. You lost the right to live in this house." "Oh, did I?" Itachi smirked. "Hell yes you did. Hey, just settle down alright. You know why I did it, don't you? You know I had no control?" Itachi asked. "Of course I do. But I don't care. Those same hands that you used to eat with are the same hands that murdered my family." Sasuke screamed. "Sasuke, I cared for them too." "HNNN," Sasuke said. "Now get out." Itachi sighed. He got up and walked out, leaving Sasuke to his thoughts. The nerve. He thinks he can just come back when he wants. No way. Sasuke took some Pocky out of his pocket and started munching. Naruto took another bite out of his apple as he was standing in front of a certain apartment complex. "I sure haven't been here in a while." He walked into the abandoned apartment complex, brushing away the cobwebs in the doorway. He wasn't really surprised that the complex was in an even more disastrous state than when he had left it. The wallpaper was peeling from the walls and there was dust everywhere. He walked towards the stairs, carefully remembering where the floor was weak. Naruto had to especially be careful on the stairs. One wrong step and he'd fall all the way down to the cellar. He cringed at the thought. When he reached the door to his apartment, he stood still for a little bit. Then he opened the door and stepped inside. He sighed disappointedly at what he saw. It looked like a tornado had gone through his room. The bed was torn to pieces then burned, and his cupboard still had an axe going right through the back of it. And on his wall there was graffiti and slanderous writing everywhere. Words condemning him, shouting praise that the demon was gone. The worst part was that some of the paint was still fresh. "Even after all this time, they still hate me, don't they?" "Of course they do. Do you think they'd just forget about you? Think of all the family members they lost during the attack 21 years ago. It's certainly been a while, QB. You're not still mad from our last fight?" "Hell yes, I still am. You need to extract revenge. Think of all the pain they've caused you. Still are causing you." "I know, but it's more complicated than that." "Oh, it's more complicated than that? You sound like a 2-year-old. Don't mock me. I'll do whatever the hell I want, which is what's best for you." "Then tell me, wise one, how destroying Konoha could be best for me." "All it would do is cause me pain. I'm looking out for Sanetogakure too, kid. If you don't eliminate Konoha, sooner or later they're going to eliminate you. That's just the way it is." "No, I can make peace with them. I will make peace with them." "What is this all about now, huh? Is it really about making peace with Konoha? Or is it just you still trying to get everyone to acknowledge you? Do you think that just because you're the leader of a village that they're all of a sudden going to like you?" "I can't help that I still have bonds with the people here. It was my home for 16 years of my life." "Home, you say? What was so homely about it?" "The people and the bonds that we had." "Well then sever those bonds. Make them pay. I just can't, goddammit. You think it's that easy to kill off everyone then go on living? It's either you or them, Kit. Because, even now, they feel threatened by your presence." "Shut up. They're going to betray you. I know it. As soon as you trust them again they're going to stab you in the back." Just shut up. I'm just trying to look out for you. If you don't want my help, fine. Sorry for caring. QB. Shit. Naruto yelled out loud as he hit his hand against the wall, making a giant hole. That hole reminded him of something. "I wonder if it's still there?" he thought. Naruto lifted up the floorboards in his apartment ever so slowly. "Please be there," he gasped as he found what he was looking for. Right underneath the floorboards under his bed was a chest. Naruto carefully opened the chest and sighed with relief. Carefully, he took out a picture of Team 7. The original Team 7, he thought. He wiped the dust off it and studied it a bit more. Then he took it and put it in his Akatsuki robe. The other object in there meant a lot to Naruto also. Naruto put his hands in the chest and took out a kunai. Not just any kunai, this was the one that he had stabbed himself in the hand with on that fateful mission to Wave. Quickly, he pocketed it and then walked out of the apartment to rejoin the rest of Akatsuki. Meanwhile, ahhhhhhhhhrrrggg. The Anbu outside of the Hokage office cringed as they heard a loud bang from inside of the office. Probably Tsunade throwing her desk again. He sighed. Lady Hokage? The Anbu said while knocking. Can you please open up this door? Shut the hell up, came her reply, effectively cutting him off mid-sentence. The other Anbu just shrugged. It's best to let the Hokage settle her own problems the way she wants to. No one wants to be on the receiving end of one of those desks. He cringed at the thought. Just then Jiraiya showed up. Jiraiya-sama, they exclaimed. Yay, Jiraiya said while waving them off, is Tsunade in there? Hi, sir, but I'm not so sure that you want to go in there right now. Well, I am, he replied. He tried the door but it was locked. He joggled it around a bit but it still wouldn't budge. Ah, I never use the door anyways, do I? Then Jiraiya sped off. Both Anbu gulped, afraid at the thought of what awaited the perverted Sannin. I hope she's not too upset. Jiraiya thought. Jiraiya slipped in through the window. He was surprised that it was unlocked. It's almost as if she wants me to come. Get the hell out of my office, you stupid pervert. Tsunade screamed and threw an object at him. He narrowly avoided the sake bottle that flew right past his head and through the window. Ahhhhhhrrgg. He heard outside from an unfortunate citizen walking in the streets below. Jiraiya peeked outside and grimaced. Ouch, he thought. Another sake bottle that was aimed for his head brought him out of his thoughts. I said get out, she screamed and threw another bottle. Jiraiya quickly grabbed it out of the air and put in his pocket. Save this for later. How many bottles does she have? Tsunade suddenly charged at him with her fist raised in the air. Jiraiya sidestepped just in time to avoid getting his face bashed in and her fist slammed into the wall. She tried to whirl around and get him with her left hand but he caught the fist in his hand and refused to let go. Let go of me, she screamed. She was slapping his chest like a little girl who didn't get her way. Jiraiya tried his best to control her but to no avail, she was as wild as a banshee. I hate you, let go of me, let go of me, get a hold of yourself, screamed Jiraiya, his rage finally kicking in. That shut her up fast and she looked down. She started walking away towards the opposite side of the room. You think that I'm some punching bag that you can take your anger out on whenever you feel like it? Who the hell do you think you are? You may be Hokage but I couldn't give a shit. Tsunade stopped at the other side of the room and somberly stared, finding the floor very interesting at the moment. Maybe you forgot, but it was thanks to me and Naruto that you even got to be Hokage. He yelled. You don't even treat me like a human being. He continued, still ranting, I'm the one who's always looked out for you, always tried to cheer you up and you treat me like shit. He's right, she thought. I'm such a self-centered bitch. Well, I got a newsflash for ya, he exclaimed, you're not the only one that cares about Naruto. He was gasping for breath. It was silent for a minute then Tsunade spoke quietly. I'm such a bitch, she said. Jiraiya didn't know what to say. Tears were pouring down her cheeks and she was shaking uncontrollably. That's me. Always thinking about myself. It's just. She took a deep breath. Everyone who's ever loved me, always leaves me. Jiraiya sighed. My little brother and Dan were almost too much for me. But now that Naruto. She hiccuped. I just want someone to love me. Nobody needs me anymore. Dan, Nate-chan, and now Naruto are gone. Nobody loves me. There was a silence. I do. She turned quickly, her long blonde hair whipping around. They stared into each other's eyes from across the room. Not one of them could tell how long they stayed there like that. It could have been a few seconds, or it could have been an hour. I love you, he said again, this time starting to walk towards her. He took a couple of steps forwards, still looking at her eyes the whole time. And I need you. He was almost up to her now. She started backing up. Part of her was afraid of what was going to happen, another part thought that she didn't deserve him. He kept on walking until she backed up against the wall. He put his arms on either side of her against the wall, so she couldn't get out. She was taking deep breaths now. He stared intently in her eyes, gazing into her soul. I love you more than anything. The gap between their lips was getting smaller. I would do anything for you. Their lips were almost touching. And I can't live without you. Jiraiya leaned forward a bit and teasingly brushed his lips against hers and then locked them tightly. Her eyes widened for a moment, but then she relaxed and ran her hands through his white spiky hair. Jiraiya wrapped his arms around her waist as the kiss became more intense. Eventually they stumbled over to the couch and lay down on it. After a while, they broke apart, gasping for breath, and Tsunade stared deeply into his eyes. She clutched him tightly, as if she was too afraid to let go. Jiraiya wrapped his arms around her and put a couple of blankets over themselves. "Thank you," she whispered. Unbeknownst to them, Sai was on the opposite side of the room, easel in hand painting. He stood up and looked at his masterpiece, then looked back at Jiraiya and Tsunade and smiled. Then he promptly scribbled his signature in the bottom right-hand corner and picked up the painting and set it next to where Jiraiya and Tsunade were sleeping together. The painting was of Jiraiya and Tsunade. Jiraiya had his hands on either side of her against the wall, and Tsunade had her arms draped over his shoulders, intertwining her fingers together. Their lips were locked passionately. You could almost feel the love that these two had just by looking at the picture. Sai smiled one more time, then turned around and walked out.
That's all for now. If you enjoy this video, then please like, share and do comments.